Welcome, folks. Welcome to Winning on Wednesday. My name is Juan Vides, and I'm the founder of Winning on Wednesday. Winning on Wednesday is a platform that meets every Wednesday at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And the purpose is to build meaningful relationships and get to know each other. I always say people do business who they know, like, and trust. Speaking about knowing and liking and trust, I would like to introduce my guest today is Jeff Schwartz. Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Juan, it is a true pleasure to be here.
Oh,
Thank
thank you.
you very much for investing time together.
Thank you. Can you give us a quick intro, please? Of who you are?
Sure.
Yeah, and we'll get into the whole bio.
I can give the intro that I would like to give, but there's people who have introduced me to others, and I like this the best. It says Jeff Schwartz is the most interesting person I know, having 30 years of practicing law on the West Coast, on the East Coast, having run for Congress, uh, starting 6 businesses, consulting with 300. So if you want to learn about Jeff, let's get together and conceive, believe, achieve.
Love it. I love it. Nice tagline. Wow, that was really good. That was good, Jeff. So take us back. Take us back where it all got started. Where were you born?
So I'm a boy from the Bronx. I
Okay.
was raised in Massapequa, Long Island.
Uh-oh.
So I turned the ripe old age of 22 and moved 3,000 miles away to San Diego, California,
Oh wow.
where I went to law school. So as I'm going to law school, every student needs to get money. What did I do? I started a business. Being a stranger in a strange land, I started a company called Servers Are Us. It was a process serving business. And one, there were 3 things. Number 1, I'm getting revenue. Number 2, I'm learning the area. But number 3, who is my clients? As any business, you got to say, who is your clients? And my clients were lawyers. And my goal was to be introduced to them. And
It,
sure enough, one of my clients actually hired me as a law clerk. And I worked for that gentleman for 5 years as a law clerk, legal assistant, and associate attorney. Now, it's real interesting. Uh, as a law clerk, you're not getting a window office. They don't expect that. But after 5 years as an attorney, I asked this gentleman, Bill, I'm an attorney now with you 5 years. Can I have a window office? He goes, no. I get it. I understand. I'll pay the difference in rent. He goes, no. So here it is. I'm 27 years old. I'm married 2 years. I says, bye-bye. Started my own law practice.
wow.
And it was a
Oh,
solo person. I
yeah.
didn't even have a secretary then.
Did you always want to become a lawyer as a kid? Is that
You know,
something as like we can take it back a little bit back, but as a kid, did you always aspire to become a lawyer? Is that something that was in it with you? Like say, is that
I am one of those strange people that always knew that is what I was going to do. Now, both my parents are deceased, but my mother would tell my wife, who we're going to celebrate 40 years of marriage in December, says, I don't know where he came from. So there was a certain drive. You can go back one, since you asked me to go back. Look, in grade school, I ran for student government. In junior high, I was a New York State officer in the New York State Historical Association. So it's always been in me to give back. And I guess in 92, which we'll get there when I ran for Congress.
right?
I'll ask a question and we can continue the story.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then what about hobbies? Any other hobbies besides the law? Besides being in the law, did you have any hobbies growing up? Did you other, any other things?
Well, look, I've always enjoyed baseball.
Mm-hmm. Of
I was in Little League, and I am a big Yankee fan.
course, the
Even when
Bronx.
I lived in San Diego, because that's a National League town,
Right.
we would take the train or drive up to Anaheim. That's the only time I can see the Yankees.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So baseball is enjoyable, but there's a hobby that I really have a passion for. I've been a poker player
Uh-oh.
I mean, the night I met my wife in 1982, a couple of guys, we were playing poker. So it's a passion. We enjoy it. And when I was here back in Long Island, a group of guys, we'd play a tournament once a month, like at VFW Hall. And we decided, 1 month out of the year, let's not do a tournament for us. Let's do it for charity.
Oh, wow.
So we looked around for a charity. We couldn't find one that we liked. So we started one. So in 2017, we started Life's Angels. And the mission of Life's Angels is to give back to those who've been dealt a bad hand in life. It was an annual poker tournament. So I can go through the whole story, but we had that first event at a VFW hall. We had 86 people. We had our 7th annual event this past April at the mansion of Oyster Bay in Woodbury, 250 people. We had Norman Chad and Lon McCarran, who just did the broadcasting of the World Series of Poker in Las Vegas. And to date, Juan, we have given away $500,000.
Wow. 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 That's amazing.
So hobbies,
Wow.
passion. So take something that you enjoy and give
Yes.
back, and it's inspiring.
That's beautiful. Wow, that's a great story. Thank you for sharing that story with us. That wow. So take us though, now your journey. You said you started your business, right? And then you were in law school, and what was your first corporate, I mean your first legal job, right? What was that like?
Well, it was when I was at law clerk, and then as the attorney. Then I started the business in '88, and real interesting. And I know your specialty is marketing and creative. So as I'm starting a business, I have the location. I have to have a phone number. So I'm dialing pads, and I have a phone number that I've had, Juan, for 36 years. The best phone number you can imagine. Now, San Diego, the area code is 619. So if anyone dials 619 on my phone number, they're still going to get me, even though I'm in New York. 2345678.
Oh wow.
That's the phone I
Wow.
still have since
Wow.
1988.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
It's, the name of my business now is Conceive, Believe, Achieve. And it's a credo and a motto that I've kept all those years. So I started the practice in '88. In 2 years, Juan, I had built the practice up to hire 2 attorneys, 3 support staff, and over 400 cases, because I know how to build a business.
Wow.
I got involved in the community. I was very fortunate to have a very high profile case. In 1990, we were the first ever to sue the skinheads in San Diego County.
Oh wow.
So, that story was in the news for
Yeah.
2 weeks straight. The closing argument, CBS, ABC, NBC, standing room only. And, when you get one big case, you get other big cases. And in 1990, where I'm running my own business, a client says, Jeff, I want you to meet somebody for breakfast. Well, you're a businessman. You know how you network and get people out there.
Of
So I
course.
took the breakfast meeting. This was in August of '91. And they said, Jeff, there is a new congressional seat that's open in San Diego. We want you to run. Well, Juan, I never ran for dog catcher. So the first time I'm going to run is for United States Congress.
Wow.
So my wife was pregnant with our first daughter at the time, and it took 3 months for her to say yes. And so when she said yes, we ran. And when she was pregnant with our son, she made me sign a contract. I will not run for office during this pregnancy. But it was a wild experience. I came in second. I got 50, first time I got 50,000 votes.
Wow. Congratulations. Yeah.
The person that won served for many years in the federal penitentiary.
Oh wow.
Soon after he was elected, they found a little written bribe list in his house.
Mm.
So he's now long gone, but it was very interesting that that happened. But I tell you, the experience was a wonderful experience. So many things, learning information, going through debates, doing
Yeah.
microphones in your face, and interacting with people, and everything that happened during the congressional run has helped me what I'm doing now. So
Yeah.
you're asking a story, and I've got stories. So 1998, very interesting time. A client comes up to me, and I did corporate counsel work. I was a general counsel to business at the time, doing transactional work and litigating. So a client comes up to me in 1998, says, Jeff, you ever hear of this thing? It's called e-commerce in 98. So they had an idea for a business. This Google wasn't existed yet. They were going to build a local online directory for advertisers. Well, it was an idea, but they would get millions of dollars. There was no revenue model. So that didn't work. But I liked the idea. So the idea, once again, conceive, believe, achieve. How do you make a revenue model? If you're going to have a directory funded by advertisers, where are advertisers already? Community newspapers. Now, a community newspaper says, here, kid, you start a new business, take all my advertisers. No. I hired developers. We built a software program to have the community newspaper online, articles and pictures and crosswords and plug and play and classified. So you're giving them something, you get a subscription model. Then one newspaper joined, another newspaper joined, and 3 years later, I sold the company.
Wow.
So it's, once again, understanding how to build a business and how to treat people right.
Correct. Correct. Um,
Wonderful experience.
well, thank you. At this point of the our meeting, I like to talk about the golden nugget. Is there any piece of information you like to leave behind that could better somebody with their career or a business person, as you have a lot of experience in business? So, is there anything that you could leave behind that you could give advice?
Absolutely. Now, anyone who is investing their time and listening to you, and you have quite an audience, most of the people have gone to graduate school, they even gone to high school. And in school, you were measured by your GPAs. And Juan, do you remember what that stood for, GPA?
Yes.
What was that?
Grade point average.
Right. But in business, you're also measured by your GPAs. The GPAs are your goals, your projects, and your actions.
Nice.
The goal is a big picture. I mean, it may take a while, but the goal has got to be broken down to projects.
Right.
And each project is broken down to action steps. So the greater specificity that you can have in those action steps and do them, more actions to create the project, create the goals. So look out for your GPAs in business.
Love it. I love that. That's amazing. That's wow. I'm going to use that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That's that's what we're all about. What about the networking groups? Do you belong to any networking groups or spheres of influence?
There's this organization called Winning on Wednesdays. There's a guy that runs it. I tolerate him,
Oh,
but I'll go
thank
anyway.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I've also looked for many years. I was involved in ABA. As a matter of fact, when I
Oh,
moved from San Diego
LMOP. Yep.
to New York, and that was 2003, and I had to start my own law practice. My circle says you got to join ABA.
Mm-hmm.
And I did, and that helped build the practice. I was Ellen's, as you know, Ellen.
Oh yeah.
With ABA, it's like the Hotel California. You can check out, but you never leave. So I left, and I came back to ABA.
Yeah.
I'm locally now involved in a group called Master Networks.
Yep. I've heard of them.
And they're, even though I live in Long Island, I attend the Long Island chapter, and I attend the White Plains chapter.
Yep.
Because they're good people.
You're right. I think
That's the thing. Juan, every day we have a choice who we want to invest our time with. And I tell people never, ever, ever, ever spend time doing anything.
right.
Anything you do, you want to invest time. Because look, as an attorney, I'm a non-practice, I'm a retired attorney, I'm a recovering attorney. words are our tools. And in
Right.
business, words are our tools. And the simple thing of spending versus investing time is a powerful thing. And the experience I had speaking to juries and judges, it's how you can create that story, how you can create a picture, how you can emote. Because you, let me ask you a question, Juan. You ever been to a movie theater?
Of course, yeah.
And when you're watching a movie, have you ever been frightened in a movie?
Yeah.
You've been happy, laughed?
No.
You have you maybe cried one time?
Yeah.
So you know what? We're talking about words. Each of those people who created those emotions in you are actors, and they're reading a script, and the script has words. So everyone in business and in life, you can choose the script of the individual you want to be. Do the greatest specificity and rehearse that script as if you are the person you can envision, you can conceive. Whether you want to be a multi-billion-dollar person, you want something that gives back, you want to get the best possible thing. People have done it before because they believe in what they want to do and they create those action steps to get there.
Right. Now, let's talk about your business. Let's talk about the services you offer. So tell us about that.
Well, I made a conscious decision. I sold my law practice in 2015. And that's when I started Conceive, Believe, Achieve as my corporation. And I put myself out there and first was a fractional chief operating officer, chief executive officer. Because at that time, I'd practiced law for 30 years. I owned 6 businesses. I consulted with 300 business. And the early part of the practice, Juan, was I was retained as a chief operating officer. I ran a company licensed by the National Basketball Association for a year. I ran a company, a SaaS company, for 6 months, was in 3 countries and 34 states. Lately, how the business has developed, I'm working one-on-one with business individuals, business executives who are frustrated with the business of business. You know, when you open a business, you have a certain skill set. Everyone has a certain high impact, high income. And that's the thing you need to do all the time. Then you got to find people who play at what you work at. Because if you're valued at 100, 200, $500 an hour, you don't do $10 an hour work. So my sandbox, Juan, is operations. That's where I play. And I work with business executives. A lot of them is a one-on-one consultative basis, whether X number of days per week or hours every other week. And I help guide them. Look, we've accumulated knowledge, and my job is to dispense wisdom. And that's what I've been doing. It's inspiring to me because you're either inspired or you're expired.
Can
And,
you,
you
yeah,
know, I'm not allergic to money. I
let
don't think anyone is,
I'm gonna
but if you're not inspired what you're doing, do something else. And this is my inspiration.
I'm gonna throw a curveball at you. This is, this is you don't have this question coming, but this is just like baseball, right? We're referencing baseball. Can you tell us about the like some of the industries? Now you don't have to mention clients, obviously, but some of the like some samples of who you helped out or who you're helping with, currently.
Of
Like what kind
course.
of yeah.
Well, I would encourage people to go on the CBA website, which is cba-consultant.com, and you'll see 3 case studies.
Hmm.
And so I can tell you about that or you can look at it. But let me tell you things that I'm going right now. I'm working with an individual, a woman-owned business, and she's been in business for 3 years. We've been working together for about 8 months, and she's listening to what she can do. Remember, the conceive, believe, achieve. So a success is in 3 years, she had reached a certain level of income in each of those 3 years. Working together for, let's say, about 8 months, she has doubled that in
Wow.
6 months because we're looking at things, we're guiding people along that way. I'm working with another story. I worked with an accountant who was a tax manager for 15 years in a firm, and he wanted to become a partner. So the same thing, we worked together for 4 months. He became a partner in 4 months.
Oh, wow.
So it's not your past that's important. Your past is something you can learn. Once you can vision that future, write the script or you conceive, and we work together to create that plan, the processes, the words. The more focused you are, the greater specificity, it actually works. Because if you're not doing it, look around you. There are businesses, whether you're Joe's Tires or you're Microsoft, there are people, and how to communicate with people. And Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, they all started someplace. So people who are frustrated with the business of business, that's where I come in, and that's my inspiration.
That's great. And you help with that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jeff, for sharing the story. And what's the best way to contact you if people want to get in touch with you?
Sure. Well, I referenced the website, which is www.cba, stands for Conceive, Believe, Achieve, cba-consultant.com. If you're in California, you can use 2345678. But here in New York, it is 516-524-5315.
All right. Thank you so much, Jeff. And if you want to be a guest on Winning on Wednesday, simply go to our website, www.winningonwednesday.com, and sign up in the first time guests, and we hope to see you then. Thank you so much, Jeff. It's been a pleasure.
Juan, a true pleasure, true inspiration. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.